carrying your phone while recording. I'm not even on a phone. Hi guys! Sorry about that. Hi!
Caught you there. Good morning. We're here at the library again. I'm Miss Tammy and this is Miss Carla, and we're going to talk about some more early literacy skills. So we hope you've enjoyed what we talked about before and made some use of it, because it's super important, especially with young readers or potential readers. And this is a really tough time for small children. I mean, it's tough on everybody, but especially little kids just learning to read. When you disrupt the education process, or, you know, kids have a hard time getting used to new teachers and new schedules and things like that. So this has been really tough for small children and parents. So we want to go back over early literacy skills, and those are print motivation. We talked about that, you know, just a motivation to learn how to read, and parents model that for their children or caregivers. Print awareness, just recognizing that letters mean something. When you're driving down the road and you see a billboard, that those letters on the billboard mean something. And today we're going to talk about letter knowledge. It's also called the alphabetic principle, but I think it just makes more sense, letter knowledge. And then the fourth one's going to be vocabulary. We'll talk about that next week. And then the fifth one is the one I like the best, is narrative skills. Mm-hmm. So today we're going to talk about letter knowledge, and what that means is connecting letters with their sounds so we can learn to read and write. And so for an example, if a child sees the letter M, the idea is he sees it enough that he can associate the sound with the letter M. And that's one of the things that we all have to do when we learn how to read, is associate the letters with those sounds.
Yeah. So I wanted to show you a few things in terms of books, ways you can use books to help with letter knowledge. We've chosen a couple books, and some of these are good examples. Some we may not think are great examples. Not that they're not good books, but maybe not for teaching this specific skill. We did say any book that that repeats or predictable words. Last week we showed the book Good News, Bad News, and it's predictable. It does the same thing every time. I think with letter books that's the same way. So this is by Andrew Zuckerman. This is called Creature. There are a lot of things I like about this book. There's a couple things we don't love about this book. One thing we do love is, if you look, so this book, for every letter, shows the capital and the lowercase. And that's important because, well, C's not a great example. No. But let's find a letter where they look very different.
The two C's look alike, but not all alphabet is the same in uppercase and lowercase.
So let's look at Q. I mean, to us, obviously, these are both Q's, but to a child, these look like two completely different symbols. So to show them that, hey, these two are the same letter, just in different forms, I like an alphabet book that has the capital and the lowercase. One thing that we don't love about this book, and this is tough to find a book that doesn't, only because so many fonts do this, I don't love that the lowercase a looks like this. And that's hard to find in a book because, like I said, so many fonts have it, but a child's not going to write an A like this. Most of us don't write A's like this. So if you can find that, you know, circle with a stick A, that's ideal. Another thing about this book that is not our favorite, and a lot of alphabet books do this, for G, they use giraffe. Well, that's not the classic G sound. We want our alphabet books to use the most common sound that letter makes. So we want G to be gorilla or something like that. We want that G sound. So always look at the G. So many of them use giraffe. Why? I don't know why they do it. And then, like I said, look at those A's. But in general, this is a great alphabet book in terms of, we have our capital, we also have our lowercase, so that helps our child understand these two symbols mean the same thing.
So this is so good for a small child because the letters are so big. You just have one picture and then you can talk about it.
And it's repetitive. It's a letter and then it's a word that starts with that letter. So that's important to know. H, and then to know the sound that H makes. So this is a great one. These are some other alphabet books that aren't just straight up, here's the letters, but they're really fun. Like Shiver Me Letters is a cute pirate story, and it does have all of the alphabet in it, but it's more of a story. It's not so much just A, and here's the sound A makes. So I think this one is good. Maybe when they're a little older and have a little more letter recognition. I do like Shiver Me Letters. It's a really cute book. And then this is Oops, Pounce, Quick Run, another one with alphabet, but it just has every page, you know, it goes down the alphabet, and there's a word that starts with that letter of the alphabet.
And they're not your typical words. This book is very different. They're not your typical words that you see in an alphabet book. It's usually animals or things like that that are named.
We're gonna get apple, banana, yeah, things like that. So, like I said, Creatures is a great book. Always check out those books. Like I said, look for the G's, look for the font for the A's. And if you have questions, if you're in the library, hey, is this a good alphabet book? Feel free to ask. We're happy to help with that. But there are so many things besides just those books you can use to help with that letter knowledge. A few things we want to show you. So when you're at home, put labels on things. Like just a little sticky label, like a mail label. Put a label on it. You can also use magnetic letters. We actually have some here. These are magnetic letters. You can get these at the Dollar Tree. And this is just a cookie sheet we had in the break room kitchen. You probably have one at home. So there are so many things you can do with this. Obviously, your kids can just play with it. They can try to make words. But early on, when they're just starting to learn their letters, they're like, hey, look at this. Can you find the M? Can you find the M? If they can't find it, help them. And then once you find that M, what does an M say? M says mmm. So we want to put together the letter with the sound the letter makes. It's not, letter recognition and knowledge is not just about knowing what the letters are, but it's knowing what sound they make also. So there are so many things you can do with just a cookie sheet and these letters. I'll say that those foam letters you can get, they usually are in the section like with bath toys, I think. This particular set just came with these uppercase letters. If you can find one with uppercase and lowercase, that's always more useful. And if you can't, you can cut them out yourself. You can cut out little flashcards. You can cut them if you happen to have a Cricut machine, or so just cut out some letters. Make yourself some little flashcards. Just write them and let them even match those. Let's say you put all the uppercase letters on cards and then the lowercase. See if they can match those up. Then as they match them, go over the sound it makes. Really simple things that cost nothing whatsoever, but it's really helping them with that letter knowledge. We talked last week about understanding the symbols on this page mean things. Now, what are these symbols? What are they called? What sound do they make? This is helping us get into that transition of reading.
And it's so important because I like what Carla said about labeling everything and making signs. You know, all kids at some point will put a do not enter sign on their door. And I think it's really interesting how they try to sound words out, like maybe the word crocodile, it's going to have a K in it because that's what they learned first. But that's early language. They're experimenting. They're trying to figure it out. So, and I also have teachers that have told me, early childhood teachers, that somewhere, because all the things are labeled in their classroom, you know, their cubbies are labeled, their backpacks are labeled, they're labeled, everything is labeled, their desk. At some point during the year, children not only recognize their names, but they recognize all their classmates' names too. Like they'll say, there's an M, that's in Mark's name. And so it's not, labeling things is really, really good for a lot of different reasons, and a good way for kids to learn how to start to read and identify those letters. So also, we didn't mention it, but the alphabet song. There's alphabet rhymes and alphabet songs. That's the first way we learn to get the alphabet across to children. More children than not learn through music. They learn music, they love it, and that rhythm and that lilting sound makes them learn the alphabet. Carla's son, Tucker, is 4, and he likes the alphabet song, and his teacher signs it to him. And so I try to sign it to him, and he knows if it's wrong. Because when it's wrong, he grabs my hand, because and it very much upsets him when I don't do it right. So think about those things, different ways that you can sing and find songs. We tried to think of some alphabet songs other than the ABC song, and we couldn't.
Yeah, there are a few little rhymes, but I mean, really, that's the best one. Just that classic ABC song. And I know there's different versions of it. There's like hip hop ABC,
Right.
and, you know, pirate. There's all, but that classic ABC, that's your best.
And we talked about Chicka Chicka Boom Boom being a good book for alphabet. Yeah, that's something most all teachers will read to their classrooms. And if you don't know it, come see us and we'll show it to you.
Chicka Boom Boom. Yeah. And there are tons of videos too. Look on YouTube and things. If you're there's some Chicka Chicka Boom Boom videos. There's a little cartoon of it, and it's a really fun way to teach some of the letters of the alphabet. I love that one. I love the book. I love the song.
So, you know, help your children, you know, get comfortable, get relaxed, you know, kind of just make it a one-on-one type thing. It doesn't have to be you. If you're cooking supper, it could be your husband, one of your other children, somebody in the house who's got a minute to sit down with a child and kind of expose them to this and, you know, read out loud. And sooner or later, they'll be able to tell, a young child won't even be able to tell where a word starts and ends until you show that to them. So it's complicated, and we talked about this earlier. Imagine if you were learning a new language,
Yes.
what that would feel like, what that would look like. Well, that's how it feels to children when they learn how to read. So take it slow. Don't get upset if you see, because it comes in spurts. Like maybe a child won't catch it all the way at the very beginning, and then all of a sudden it's like a light switch turns on. So, and if you need help, come see us here at the library. We're more than happy to help you. We have some good ideas, some suggestions, and we'd be happy to share with you. And bring your children here.
Yeah, bring them. And like I said, learning to read is hard. So yeah, be patient. If your child's getting frustrated, if they're struggling, yeah, try not to get yourself angry or frustrated. We always want reading to seem like something fun and exciting. Once it starts to seem like work and a chore, they don't want to do it as much. So and especially in those early days when early literacy, we want it to always seem like something really fun and exciting and new. We're learning new, cool things, not Mom's making me sit still and I don't want to.
And on the other side of that too is it's very important. Children's self-esteem is so rooted in being able to read in the early years, because you have to read out loud. And if you think back in your school years, some children struggled with that, reading out loud in class. It's very embarrassing, and I've had people tell me that they would just be shaken before their turn was coming up to read aloud in class. So we want children to be relaxed. If you see that they're having a problem, if you've given it enough time and you've gone over it enough, and maybe your child's teacher or someone notices that they're just stuck on something, maybe you need to look into it a little further. But don't rush into that. You know, don't assume that because they can't read after 2 weeks that there's a problem, because it just takes time. And for some kids, it takes a little bit longer than others, and that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. So we're glad you came today, and we hope you come back. Every week we're going to talk about something different and open to questions, and we're here to help.
Yeah.